ultimately, like the reason for like what we're doing is just we want to like end that narrative of like Gen Z and young people being lazy, being unprofessional, and just like wanting to chill and mooch off their parents, which is not true. My name is Arinze. I am Nigerian. I am founder and CEO of Kenga. Just Kenga. Yeah, and it's good to meet you.
Hey Arinze.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, did
Hi.
I interrupt you?
No. No, hi.
Awesome,
What's up?
So what were you doing right now?
I was just going through like the fashion section of the latest issue of my magazine. I like just like so I have this bad thing where like after the issue comes out, like I just spend a lot of time just going through it page by page, like finding like some like defects in like just what we did or like some cool things that I might have missed. So that's what I was doing. I was just going through, and I found some like inconsistencies, but um, overall, I'm very excited by just how it came out.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. When did you release this?
Thank you. When did I release this? This came out on the 30th of April, so just like a few weeks ago. Actually, like almost like exactly 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about Kenga.
Right. So Kenga is a publication that is essentially documenting Gen Z culture and insights in Africa to help be a voice for young people on the continent.
Well, I love that. What
Thank
gave
you.
you the inspiration to start something like this?
Um, hmm. I think I think first of all, like I'm someone who's very tired by the whole idea that like young people are lazy, young people are, you know, I don't know, just there's just so many it's like so much negative talk about young people on the internet today, and it's so like tired and just annoying. So I think for me, it came from that like that discontent, like that annoyance, from just how my generation is spoken about. And because I also have an academic background studying um, Gen Z and like their behavioral patterns, creating a company that documented the culture of this unique generation and helped to create original insights around like this unique generation just felt like something natural to do at the time. And also because like this was like early last year, and I was trying to think about something creative to do, something that was entrepreneurial, something that allowed me to actually like feel like I was creating. And I think now, like 5 issues later, it feels like we're starting to get there. Actually, let me show you. So these are copies of this is a copy of issue 4. This is the issue just right before this. And then this is a copy of issue 3, which was the issue just right before this. And this was just like 3, 4, 5. Oh, and then this is a cool thing that we've started. So this is what we've called like the digital version of the magazine. And essentially what this is like we've tried to combine like the best of like print and the best of like digital. Because one thing that we found out from people who would buy the magazine was people who would buy just the digital who feel like discontent because all they have is essentially a PDF of the magazine and not like nothing actually like tangible that they can hold. But then because of the price point of like the print, most people still most people who want print can't get print, and also because like the print is limited. We only sell 100 copies of print for each issue. So getting print of the magazine is quite a challenge for most people. So we decided to create to create this, which is now like a bifold that has the cover of the issue, the list of the contributors, like the description of the cover, and then like the snapshots of the other covers that are associated with the issue, and QR codes are able to just like read the digital to order print, or in this case like download the Rafi app, which is one of the people who sponsored the issue. So like we've seen cases where people just keep this around and they just carry this around. Some people just scan this they'll download like the digital and then just frame this up and put it on their on their wall. And this it's like this something that we can scale, something that is more accessible than I guess like these like hard heavy ones. But yeah, that is Kenga. That is that's a lot.
So why did you decide to start Kenga in Kenya or areas that you did?
I didn't start Kenga in Kenya. I started in Kenga actually when I was in Accra. I was with my friends. This afternoon when the conversation was had, and I think at the time I was still like thinking about the idea. I was speaking to my co-founder at the time, and we're still very very much in brainstorming mode at that inception point in Accra. A lot of the work for the issue happened while I was there. Our company is actually registered in the States, but then a lot of the work that happened in the first few months happened in Accra, which is where I was based at the time. Now I'm based in Nairobi, but this is just where I'm living, and I from here I manage the team across Nigeria, Ghana, the States, Canada, Mauritius, and the UK.
So how many people are you managing?
11. Well, myself included. So yeah, 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the footprint, the creative footprint that we have in Kenya, but Kenya is not our base yet.
Where were you raised?
I was raised in Nigeria. Left Nigeria when I was 17 to go to Mauritius, which is where I did my undergrad. And yeah, I guess both Mauritius and Nigeria raised me.
How has that affected the way you think creatively and for as a person and maybe just for your business as well?
Yeah, I think growing up Nigerian toughens you. It toughens you in ways that, I don't think growing up many other nationalities would, just because of how difficult it is to just get anything done in Nigeria or to even become anything in Nigeria where, first of all, there's a lot of people. There's a shit ton of people. But then, the people outnumber the resources. The bad people outnumber the good, the good and people in our leadership. And I think when you combine all of these things, you just you set a very nice stage for chaos. But yeah, I think traveling around and moving outside of Nigeria helped to expand how I thought about the world and how I saw my identity as a gay man. Growing up in Nigeria is one of the toughest things to do when you're any other identity other than straight. My identity isn't criminalized in a place like that. And I think just seeing that difference just changed how I thought about just what was possible for even queer laws at a very small scale. That expanded as I traveled outside of the continent for jobs and so on, and I saw how other people like me live in other societies. It was fun, it was free, it was exciting, it was colorful, it was nice, and I wanted that for myself. And I think just seeing all of that and questioning what I've been used to has got me to this point where I'm at with my identity. And I think just with how I approach life, my tough skin comes from my Nigerianness.
So, besides Kenga, Arinze, what other hobbies do you have? I mean, I can see you have a lot of books here
Harry Potter.
and a guitar
Harry
behind you.
Potter. Oh no, that's actually my roommate's. It's not
Yeah.
mine. Mine is mostly these video games. This is mostly work. Um, yeah, it's mostly games, books, um, shows, um, and yeah, just chilling, just spending time with my friends.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed the painting or
Yes,
the Harry Potter
the
painting.
that's the Deathly Hallows. Um, if you're interested, for the Harry Potter fans that might watch this, like they would know what this is. But for the non-Harry Potter fans who might not know what this might look rather occultic. It's not, I promise. The triangle is supposed to be the invisibility cloak. The circle is the resurrection stone, and this is the elder wand. Um, so I think like combined, so combine these three artifacts make up the hallows, which are I guess like the most powerful magical instruments in the wizarding world.
What made you decide to go down the entrepreneur route?
Um, huh. I think it was actually a bit of peer pressure. Um, I think it was a bit of peer pressure because first of all, like I'm surrounded by lots of like entrepreneur friends. Like a lot of my friends are entrepreneurs. I don't know why that's the case, but lots of them are just entrepreneurs. And like I think just being surrounded by all that energy, seeing how you know they create very real impact through the work that they're doing and through like the companies that they are running. Like they actually have people on on payroll. Like they're actually you know like catering for people's like livelihoods. Like their products are being useful to people, and people are willing to pay thousands of dollars for these things. It's just so impressive, like to see, and like I think even more so because I see it go from 0 to 1. I see it go from like that idea from like we're having in like a like in like the living room to you know raising hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, and like I think just seeing that process was just very very inspiring. And then I think it also coincided very nicely with like a time when I was questioning just like what is my contribution to the world, right? At the time I had done amazing like professionally straight out of undergrad. I went to a top tech company to work in London. After that, went to do my master's at a prestigious pro program, right? But at that point in time, like I just if I couldn't explain to myself like what value I'd added to the world, like what difference did it make to the world that I was there, other than just accumulating like academic and professional laurels, right? So I wanted to make something. I wanted to build something, right? And like I think ultimately it was an inquiry about like just how can I best add value. And I think when I looked at like the combination of like my skills, my passions, and just where was there a genuine gap in the market, where could I genuinely add value, that intersection, all those intersections landed at at like what we're doing now with Kenga.
Are there any like influencers or mentors that you follow that inspire you to keep going?
Honestly, on this entrepreneurial journey, lots of people that inspire me are the entrepreneurs closest to me. Obviously inspired by the greats, Steve Jobs of the world, the Aliko Dangotes of the world. I'm very inspired by these people, but I think their journey just feels too far off for me to really find it as useful and as like immediately applicable in my own circumstance as like my other like founder friends. So like I think I see this very often on like my socials. My favorite CEO, my favorite founder is my friend Vidette, who runs this travel company in Ghana called Sote Charlie. She started this company at the beginning of the pandemic and has literally created, a travel company in Ghana that has generated revenue of more than $500,000 in 2 years in the middle of a pandemic. And I think just seeing her build an impossible business at an impossible time, faced faced with so many different challenges externally, internally within the business, even more internally in her life, managing all that chaos and creating something out of all of that goes on to create value for people, that goes on to entertain people. That's really inspiring. That is motivating. That's when I on my off days, or on my down days, I would think about like what would Vidette do in this situation a lot more often than what would Dangote do in this situation. Like, you know what I mean? Because these are the greats. They built their business at different times. There's obviously pieces of wisdom they can get from their journey, but I would 100% focus on like the founders that are existing now, the founders that are creating businesses now. I'd rather learn from their journeys than.
Yeah.
Ah,
The name Kenga come about.
um, the name came about when that pivotal point at like the company formation point where you're like, okay, this is not just an idea. This can actually become a thing, like a company. And then at that point, you're trying to figure out like, well, what is that one word? What would I call my baby? It's like trying to name your child. You could either go the basic route of like just looking through like a register of names, or just like what's could inspire. Now there's ChatGPT, so probably founders today could just type in a prompt and get inspiration for their names. I think for us it came down to a couple of things. We wanted a name that sounded African, like was African, of course, but like because there's some African names that apparently don't sound African that they could. Some people think it's English. For example, my name, Arinze. There's some Nigerians who think that my name is English, but it's not. It's Igbo, right? So I didn't want a name like Arinze that is African but could also sound just English. So then I think like we just thought it best to just remove the I, create like a whole new identity inspired by Kenga, but just removing like the gendered deity. So throwing away the I and keeping the Kenga. It's disyllabic. It sounds African. It is inspired by an African name. It's rooted in African spirituality. It is something that symbolically inspires us like as the team to just like greater things, and just like to continue like doing better than our previous work, in the spirit of the constant pursuit of excellence. This is actually our latest issue. This is taglined Gen Z. This issue was speaking on mental health and mental wellness, and we created this issue in collaboration with Shamiri Institute. This is actually like this their product and like their logos. So this issue really just went into like a lot of like conversations around mental health, mental wellness, general well-being, um, sanity. Oh, this was a fun thing that we did in this issue. So for this issue, we had our first like fashion spread where like we curated African fashion for the season, and then just highlighting a couple like African fashion brands and the latest collections. This is our cover story for the issue, and then the entire issue is just filled with like a lot of like really interesting art and photos that that augment like the stories within the issue. This is our cover girl Maya Molo, who is a Kenyan R&B artist that you should be listening to. If if you're not already, you should catch up.
Yeah. So how many issues have you released so far?
5. This is the 5th one. We're currently working on issue 6, which would be coming out on the 30th of July. Mark your calendar.
Awesome. So, which one is your favorite?
Now you don't do that. You don't. It's like asking a parent to pick their favorite child. Damn. I would say.
That's what
Okay. I would say that I I like I like all the issues. But like I think the one thing is I've seen that we've grown consistently from issue 1 all the way to issue 5. There have been things that we've experimented with in every single issue. Some things we experimented with more than once. Some things we experimented with just once. But every issue has its own unique flavor, its own unique identity, and its own unique story, right? So it's hard to pick which one of them that I like the most. But like I think if I like gone to my head had to pick, I think the latest one would be my pick. Mostly because I think it feels like the 5th iteration of what we've done with the magazine, with every issue just being an opportunity to just change how we're thinking about things. For example, like with this issue, we try to make the page numbers like an integral part of the design of the page. Because I think with issues 1 to 3, we had the page numbers just there, like as an appendage, like in the page, like 1, you just at the bottom, just forgotten, like in the way that you would expect it to be in a magazine. In issue 5, in issue 4, we actually didn't have page numbers at all. People didn't realize that, but we actually didn't have page numbers at all. So like with this issue, we incorporated the page numbers into the design of the page and versus just having it as an appendage. So with here, like I can see there's a change in the page numbers to interact with like the unique like design of each page. Even on the fashion spreads, you'd see how the page numbers would change to match the color of the outfit of what the person is wearing. So it's like I think this just feels like genuinely like version 5 of what we're doing, and with every issue we just find new ways. It could be small ways, but just new ways to make our product better and just better for people to read, and better for people to flip through, and better for people to appreciate and be inspired by.
Yeah. Tell us a bit more about Kenga, what you guys are doing currently, and your plans for the future.
Yeah, so Kenga right now, and I think for the past year, has been just a magazine. Has been just a publication. And that is with intention. We wanted to get started with something that was interesting and to us, something that allowed us to challenge ourselves, something that allowed us to try new to just like the editorial space, and just have fun, right? And I think the magazine also allowed us to create like a base, like a base of like people who know about us, who know about like the quality of our work, and just have an understanding of like what the Kenga editorial brand is like from a story perspective, from a visual perspective, and all around. The next phase of Kenga is becoming much more than just a publication. So becoming a creative studio, becoming an animation studio, becoming everything that we can be, that allows us to achieve our mission. Hi, I am Arinze. I'm founder and CEO of Kenga Media. Subscribe to Beneath the Surface.